Good evening, guys and gals, and welcome to another unique Friday night interview. Our guest tonight is our first, well, non human guest. We have Tildar Hobblesquatch from the Life of Hobblesquatch right here on YouTube. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
Sorry, I'm good. Very good. Thanks for having me there, Drew. I've been a long time wanting to do this. Well, a long time being like, the last few days. It's been pretty exciting now. Welcome to the Rusty Nail. So for what it's worth, anyway, you're always welcome to come on up when you get a moment.
I'll tell you what, if I am ever in your area, you better bet I'm going to sit down, have a good drink with my green skinned friend, and talk about glorious battles.
I don't know about you, but I don't know much about battling. I served more time in the military, but it just wasn't for me. I have one broadcast about that, but if you've got questions, I'm happy to answer. Honestly, the biggest thing to remember about that is I'm just not a warrior. I'm not a brute type. The reality is I've got orcs to do that sort of thing for me.
So you're the adventurer and you have fighters that cover the fighting.
Right, yeah, primarily I just avoid that scene. Like I said, I was in a mad mob once. Never again. Let me just touch on that. That's some warlord or some chieftain decides he's going to campaign across the region, calls all the tribes of greenskins and goblins and trolls and ogres, and he gets everybody. It's a massive army, and the campaign lasts as long as it lasts, probably a few months. I suspect no longer than a year. But the reality is that it eventually implodes on itself. You just don't want to be around when that happens. Just hope there's somebody else to fight. If they're not fighting somebody else, they're going to be fighting you. So it's just too much of a volatile situation for old Tildar.
I don't blame you. I really honestly don't. So I know you and I have had a chance to talk just a wee bit, but tell everybody about yourself. Where do you come from? What got you interested in telling your life on YouTube? Things like that.
Oh, sure. I'm Tildar Hobblesquatch. For the ninth time. I'm sure that's getting pretty old. I came from a small village. We just call it the Thatcher. It didn't really have a name. I came from the Thatcher. Um, I moved to the city. I know some years ago, but honestly, it's really hard for me to say I settled in one place. I am 6'3", which is almost twice as high as your normal gob. And I was telling Drew here that I've got some kind of blood in me, I'm sure, certain, because I'm just too dang tall to be a normal gob. Probably ogre or troll or maybe even a right orc that's gone even beyond his own size. In any case, I come from a big family. I lived in a hut with 9 others, and that's it. That's who I am. I'm a bandit hunter. As we said, I have served in the military, the army, but it was in. It was come and gone. This is about what describes me best whenever I'm not out doing this and that and finding any of those and running from any of those. I find myself here at the Rusty Nail. This establishment here is just a roadhouse for all adventurers of all kinds, from sailors to the cat folk. The little looking human people, the dwarves, and the occasional elves. The humans come in. So that's just as roadhouse the rusty nail. And I don't know. That's me in a nutshell, there, Truba.
Awesome. He has YouTube open or something. Yeah, he because of well, I don't want to sound, like, there's anything wrong with greenskins, because me personally, I love greenskins, but because of his ears, it's really hard to have any kind of a receiver, a headphone, an yeah, what are these things called? Oh, earbuds. You can't put them in, so there's going to be just a little bit of an echo. I'm sorry about that, but that's just,
I am sorry. I didn't plan for that. Next time, or if there is a next time, I'll be sure to think ahead, and I apologize.
I would probably look like Tildar if I consumed a fermented herring durian fruit shake.
Well, that's rude. If I ever see you down here, you know what? Never mind. You do as you want.
I don't know. Me personally, I think a fermented herring durian fruit shake sounds good right now. But I mean, that's. Drew, would you please explain for our guests where Tildar is from?
I've eaten before. It's not so bad. Anything fermented is not so bad as long as you relax the right way.
Yeah, yeah. Now, you are not actually now. I don't know. We never discussed this. Are you from this plane, or did you cross over from another world somewhere? People are asking where exactly you're from.
Me, I'm from the Midwest. Not
there you go.
A secret place. Like I said, a village called I just call it the Picture. I moved out here to the West Coast. A lot of me and my dress and everything is a little bit rustic, but honestly, I just like doing things the old way. My gigs, my explorations, and here and there. So honestly, that's it. I come from the Midwest, and I find myself on the West Coast.
Very nice, very nice. So, you are a relic hunter / adventurer. I know you released one video talking about some of your prized relics, and I found that very interesting.
Yeah, sorry. Go ahead. Didn't realize you.
No. Please go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of times I tell people it's not so much what I find and how I find it. It's usually more interesting in how I lose it or where did it go. Sometimes, I don't remember. Sometimes it just gone. Other times it's lost in the gambling. But to me, those are the more fascinating stories. But I mean, I have so many relics here and artifacts. There's a mountain of stories. I can go on and on like an old dog who can't walk without his cane. I can go on for hours about that stuff in history and what's in my closet. So. Yeah, for sure. Definitely for everyone to hear about and discuss.
I want to take a real quick second. I want to welcome everybody in. We have 14 folks in here right now. Jerry Jensen, welcome to the family, my friend. Buck, Ian, Tony, Squatch, Jan. There's the captain right there. Numismaniac. There's Beth from down in North Carolina. He is a very handsome fellow, and frankly, I ran across him by accident right after the first of the year. I ran across his channel and I watched it and I laughed and I laughed. And I told myself then I had to have Tildar on here because not only is he entertaining in his stories, but he tells some of the best jokes
Well, you want to
that
hear a joke, do you?
I
What's
would love to
green
hear a
has
joke.
wheels? Grass. I forgot about the wheels, but the answer's grass. That's a good one. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You're fine. Now, uh, you've only been on YouTube for what, about a month now. What got you interested in coming onto the platform and telling non-greenskins about what it's like to be a greenskin?
So honestly, it's all inclusive, right? Other greenskins come here. What was really going on? This place opened up during the pandemic. I know a pig doctor. He'll be on my channel at some point, and really nice guy. Anyway, uh, we just sat around here. I opened well, I didn't do it, but the Rusty Nail opened up during the pandemic to give people a place to go. During this roadhouse because everything else was just closed down. Anyway, a couple of years of that, a lot of jokes later, a couple of me mates said, "Why don't you open the audience a little bit?" And because we just sat around for hours and nobody ever got bored. This poor girl was like, "Go home, we're closed," and we're just laughing for days and days. And 2 years later, this started. I let the fun end when the pandemic's over.
Very interesting. Sorry, I need to ice down my drink.
It's not a bad way to go, but you know what you need is a nice woven stout. They're excellent at room temperature.
Ah, very interesting. Very interesting. So, basically, you put up the Rusty Nail then, or you built the Rusty Nail for all your friends to gather together during the pandemic to play cards, to drink, to have a merry time, and not have to worry about being out in public as much and running the risks.
Right, and that's right, Drew. But personally, right. I mean, there's no other way to word it. I got no much to say.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, tell us about some of your adventures.
So, honestly, the channel will talk about that. I wanted to talk about a little bit of history and things people don't know. And I know that you're a history buff. Is that right, Truba?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Okay. Well, I was reading some books. That's what I do. I research here and there. Honestly, I think maybe you'll agree with me that history is written by the victory party. Right. Okay. So I'm gonna go all the way back to Genghis Khan. And honestly, what you don't know is that uh, exemplary warrior was actually a half orc, and you wouldn't believe it because it's not in your books, but that's the reality of it. And a lot of these devices, like the Manhattan Project was Gorman Engineering. The first U-boats was Dwarven Engineering, but it's just not there. I don't understand it. We could talk about any of it, but I just wanted to touch up on that and how incorrect things are in your books.
I can agree 100%. I mean, I know that humans don't always like to share credit and they can get quite what's the word I'm looking for? They can get quite swollen headed when they create something that is a success. They don't want to share any of the credit with the people who actually may have designed it. So I can actually believe what you're saying right now about well, Genghis Khan being half orc, the way he fought. My God, unbelievable! He had to have been. He couldn't have been.
That's what I'm trying to say. Also, Alexander the Great was an elf, and all of his ancestors goes all the way down to Julius Caesar himself. It was humans who ran the Senate and took it over. I don't believe it was a struggle of power. I certainly believe it was a struggle of getting the humans on top and the elves out of power. That's just what I think. But I'm telling you, you can find this if you look between the pages and between the words. It's really all fascinating stuff. We can delve into any of it.
Most definitely. Most definitely. But I know you have got plans for about 45 minutes from now. So how about if we come back? How about if we get you back on here a little bit later on when you've got more time, and we can talk about some of that sordid history. So let's see here. I know you're not a fighter, but I do believe you have a weapon of choice.
Well, I believe you're referring to the whip. Honestly, I just go the old school way. There's nothing wrong with a bit of a sword or a pistol by your side. The whip is really a tool. How do I say? That fellow. I know what you're thinking. He's got a bit of a hat, kind of like this, but not quite. Honestly, I think further back to a gentleman named Simon Belmont, who used to do it before, and that was the inspiration. Honestly, you're swinging from one place to another, and that really works. I've had so many questions. Does it work? Well, sure. When you hit with the whip, don't give it any slack, and you can just hold it as tight as you can, and you swing around, and it's highly effective. Is it a weapon? Yeah, I'm sure you can hurt somebody with it, but it's mostly a tool. You can definitely scare people with it, animals alike, and just get them away, chow, like that.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah, I watched your video about your whip, a bazooka whip. So
what's that about?
Jerry Jensen in the chat said a bazooka whip. It's doable, but that wouldn't be the first crosshatch weapon in history. We have had dagger guns. We have had sword guns. So, I mean, a bazooka whip. Very curious.
Tell Jerry there that his jokes are just that, and you're not to be taken seriously. But honestly, now you're just talking crazy in bazooka whip. What is that about? That's okay, Jerry man. We respect you.
The only whip I want is what goes on top of ice cream. Hey, I wouldn't mind I wouldn't mind being able to work a good bullwhip. My dad used to have a bullwhip he picked up in New Mexico when he was down there in the Army. And he used to go around and crack that puppy all the time. So that thing scared the hell out of me and my sister on more than one occasion. Oh, so let's see here. Your opinion on those other unique breeds that like to Those are unique non-human breeds that like to roam around the countryside, say
Sure, sure.
elves, orcs, ogres, etc.
Oh, let's talk about that. Honestly, let's go a little bit down to heritage because maybe that kind of broadens the question a little. So, us greenskins, it's kind of a known fact that we evolved from the elves. Your token told it all wrong. This isn't like a twisted game of distortion and mutation. No, there's a missing link out there, similar to the humans coming from the primates, and you have honestly traced that back to Africa. I think. I believe our roots come from Siberia, around there. And there's others like the half folk and the gnomes, both I believe come from Iceland and New Zealand and Ireland. I believe their roots are traced there. The dwarven folk come from the desert. I don't know that to be true, but honestly, like I said, kind of like the humans came from the primate, the greenskin came from the elf, and I don't dislike the elves. That's also another common misconception. I just look down on them. Just hear me out. Druba, let me ask you a question. Would you trust a monkey to drive you to the store? Oh, well, of course not. I wouldn't trust an elf with me shoelace. So yeah.
And it's really sad because I've met some very sweet elves before.
Well, of course, I've got some friends of elves of my own.
Oh my gosh. Let's see here. So, what's it like being an old world goblin in the new world? I mean, I know much like humans, when we come from other countries or we have certain beliefs or
That's right,
something
Druba.
that yes, sir.
No, that's right. You're right.
But what's it like growing up with um, obviously non-human parents, but living in a human world?
I think it's more of a general question, isn't it? What's it like being a green in a non-green area? Where honestly, I don't really notice. You go to the
I don't
supermarket,
recognize color. I'm color blind in my household, so I don't care green, yellow, blue, black, brown, white. I don't see color. That's why I just say non-human.
yeah, okay, I get it. Wait, hey, no need to explain yourself here, Drew. But honestly, it's not so bad. You just go to the supermarket. People don't pay attention. Honestly, if you know, definitely a majority of humans here and there. But the cashier, I just came in and working the till. She was a nice half folk, standing on a crate and just beeping the items through. I didn't pay no mind. It's kind of like that. It's just what it is. I don't have any real issues. Definitely, I do miss my village back at the ditch, but living in the city's fine. I did touch on this a little bit. Good, that's good. That's good tobacco. But I did touch on this a little bit. It's a cultural difference. It's more for me and less for them. Back at the theater, if you were angry or whatever, you would just point it out, and the winner is right, and that's it. So I attempted this method on my neighbor, and I was in lockup for 3 days. So I know better than to do that again. But it's more for me and less worried about who's there and them. So it's just living, really. It's like
Very
moving
good.
to another country and not knowing the language. That's all it is.
And speaking of which, do the goblins? Now I don't know if your family or you are the only ones in your area, but do the goblins have their own language that they speak when humans are around and stuff?
I mean, yeah, it's no different in Latin or Germanic, Goblin and Elvish. But honestly, I've been living in the city, traveling with so many people. I actually forgotten it. I only spoke it when I was a real young git, and back at the Thatcher, it's been many. I can translate some certain writings, but usually I just use my book in many different languages. So it's not just Goblin or Orc. And Orc is, of course, a dialect of Goblin. But I don't speak it much. And even if I did, nobody would understand it. Similar to, your Chinese, they speak the Cantonese and the Mandarin, but when they talk to each other, they use the common language. But I don't. That's all it is. But I don't remember my native language. I barely spoke it then, and I haven't spoken it in years.
Hmm. Wow. Now I understand, and this is probably going to shock a lot of people when you answer this, but I understand you have a regular job in the human world. What
Sure.
is that
Yeah, I gotta
job?
make ends meet. Yeah,
What 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 is that
if I'm not
job that
out
you
doing,
have?
yeah, if I'm not out doing this or that, and I say this or that, but really, if I'm not on some sort of quest or adventure or looking for an artifact, usually the religious these days, honestly, I want to get my hands in Vatican City, your Vatican City, and I'd be willing to bet they would prove so many of my findings. But honestly, excuse me, I don't want to rant about that right now. Like you said, we'll get to that another time. Anyway, yeah, I just do IT work, but I don't go into the office too much. I work remote, and again, this all started in the pandemic. In fact, I've been known to come right to the pub and do my work right there.
And I guess it's very very handy having your own pub right there at your home.
Well, the reality is it's not mine. I just come here all the time. She's not she's around here somewhere, but she owns the place. We just been coming here for so long. I probably got a tab enough to buy the place actually, so that kind of makes sense.
So we've talked about your relic hunting and stuff. You wanna tell the viewers about some of the relics that you have found during your many adventures?
So I did list my top five. I don't feel like going over that one again. If most of you probably already heard about it. Honestly, I did find a flying carpet once. This is a real thing. It's flying around. Honestly, I got hit by a airplane, and I did, that was ugly. It was. They don't. They have flight control towers for a reason. Gnomish design, by the way, and that's not in your books. But yeah, so that's how I lost it. I didn't die, and so many. I got a scar from that one. But what else? Let's see here. Oh yeah, so many. The usual lantern that never burns out. Those are always good. I did come across a man light that was better. So that was just in the closet. Uh, yeah, a lot of stuff is just very old and outdated. But it's not necessarily about its usefulness. It's about it's value. Kind of like finding an old painting. Or so like a lantern that never goes out. You just find yourself a nice bright flashlight, and it's just more efficient. But yeah,
Hmm. Very interesting. Very interesting. Um, so do you often go on adventures out there where you live at?
uh, one more time, I didn't catch that.
I said, do you often go on adventures out there where you live?
Oh, it's showing stop. I I get asked often, how where do I sleep? Uh, uh, you know, but it's non-stop. Right now, I definitely want to go check out the Stonehenge. I know there's something more there. I don't want to give away my ideas and my secrets, but I have traced artifact about a mile away. As far as I say, but I know it's out there. Also, Dublin Castle has a lot there too. So that area is my next stop when I can make it. And that's another thing I'd like to talk about is that people ask me, do I do things the new way? With the fancy X-rays and the excavation machinery. No, I don't. I go down and did it the old way. And this is what I ask: do you know what they miss with that stuff? Well, my only answer is neither do they. So you go down there with a shovel and a flashlight, and you just dig it up. You wouldn't believe what's out there. Honestly, they've dug up Egypt so much, but I still go down there and find all kinds of stuff, challenges and old books, all because they just won't do it manually. That's a shame, really.
Very much, very much. I posted a sword with this lovely fellow. Oh, did you, Sasquatch? Very cool. He said he posted a short with you on it.
With what? Sorry about
He
that.
he posted a short with you on it.
Who's
So
that?
I'm not. I'm one of my people here, a good friend of mine named Caucasian Sasquatch.
I like your last name. It reminds me of me.
Oh my goodness. Let me see here. What else? Derek said if you have a bar right there, he'll take a shot of whiskey with a beer chaser. And then Beth said, talk to the barmaid, Derek.
Coming right up. Oh, is this a short of whiskey for the young man? Boy, Drew, it is nice having you here. Let me tell you about another chap I knew that was named Druba. He was a known fella. Honestly, I like traveling with him because, like me, they see in the dark pretty well. Honestly, those who don't see in the dark always have to have some sort of light source, and I always tell them that's just going to give us away. You never know what's looking down there or who's snooping around the corner. So I traveled with a gnome named Druba, but he was a paranoid fella. I liked him, but once he threw a boomerang and didn't leave his house for 3 weeks.
Wow. Wow. So in one of your recent videos, you talked about going to a convention there in your area. Is this something you're just starting to do, or have you done conventions in the past where people have got more familiar with you and your personality and the wonderful things that you talk about?
I mean, I have not been to a convention, but honestly, this is what I feel. I'm hoping to meet more greenskins there because most of the greenskin population is like I said, it's closer to Siberia, Ukraine, Russia, that area. So it's always nice to run into McKinn, but I am hoping that I get to see a little bit more there. That's really the goal. But no, I've not been, so I can't really speak for that. But I'm excited to go. It is what is it? The date? Somewhere in the mid-February, the 18th probably, and we're gonna all go there and just have a good time. And I'm looking, just like this. I know they've got sit downs there, and they've got mobile pubs. Not sure what those are called. I just call them mobile pubs. But definitely, I'm looking forward to it. But it will be my first time.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Derek, yes, JJ's has been putting Tildar's link to his channel up there. As a matter of fact, right before you ask if he has a channel, she had posted it up there. That's that at youtube.com/@Hobblesquatch. That's Tildar's channel on YouTube. He don't let you down. Oh my God. Like I said, I found him right after New Year's in my suggested videos, and I watched his first video, the one he had put out that day, and I laughed at what he was talking about, everything, and but let me see here. Let me see if I can pin.
I'm just going to check my notes here, Drew. But you keep talking, and I'm listening.
All right, my friend. Let me see here. Of course, there's been a couple of statements about your pipe. I too have a tavern pipe like that. Very, very nice pipe to smoke. Very nice
Do
pipe
me
to
a
smoke.
favor and send us a picture. I would like to take a look. I've got one on short order, actually. I don't want to put their name up here. I'm not sure how that would work out, but I would like to see a picture of yours. Honestly, I've mentioned this before. When I'm on the road for days at a time, I have me pipe and me flute. I'm not playing it today, but I promise I'll put out a tune when I get to it. But definitely, this is my best friend right here. Definitely keeps me comfortable and moving along by myself for days at a time. Always have your pipe and some sort of instrument for the road.
Very well put. Very well put. Now, speaking of which, I have to. Let me see what Derek say. I love old school pipes. I want to get a Marishon. Actually, Derek, now since you mentioned it, this was actually a gift from one of our viewers on here. He's not on here right now, but he. There we go. That's more centered. I was gifted this Marishon at right before Christmas time, and it's a nice, very nice little pipe.
You smoked the cigars. Have you smoked out of that one there? That looks like a good smoke, the Meerschaum.
No, I have not smoked out of this one yet. I've not had a chance to pick up any decent pipe tobacco yet.
Oh yeah, this is good stuff. This is it's got a hint of chestnut to it, and but I mean honestly, it's got a good smoky taste to it, and it's not so rough on you.
Nice, nice. Do a poll about greenskin normalization. Hey, it's like I said. It's like I said a little bit ago. In our house, we're colorblind. I have friends that are, just about every shade imaginable. So, he is not the first greenskin that I have called a friend. So, not all of them are
That's
from
right, Truba.
here.
Everybody needs a friend like me, and I'm glad you say that.
I agree. I agree. Everybody needs a friend like you because I have a feeling you, my friend, are the life of the party. Not only the party where everybody is drinking and being merry, but of the adventurous party, of any kind of party you get involved in. I have a feeling you are the life of it.
Well, I appreciate that, Truba.
So let me see here. Let
You
me
and me,
see
we're
here.
going to be good friends, Truba. In fact, I'm going to send you a pipe. One of my favorites. When I get to it, I'll have your peoples and my peoples talk about it, and we'll figure it out. But I've got something for you.
Well, thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. Now let
In
me
fact,
see
let me show
here.
you another one. This one's a dwarven design. Look at that one right there. This is the one I take on the road with me. It's a little bit shorter, but it's got a nice big bowl for them long walks. A little bit slower, a little bit different. But this one's a bit dwarven. This one here is actually a human design from the Magic School, and not near here, of course. Rasputin was a very interesting individual. He was a human. Does anybody know about Rasputin? Of course you do. But he had an elvish appendage which protected his life over and over and over until finally it was discovered and he was finally done in. But he smoked a pipe very similar to this from a very similar magic school. So yeah,
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I think your pipe might be your stem might be just a bit longer than mine. I think mine's only about 12, maybe 14 inches. So yeah, I think yours is just a little bit longer than mine,
but
but
I
the
hate to
same
brag,
basic
Truba,
design.
I bet it is. I'm just giving you. I'm just joking, your leg.
Well, you know what they say about greens. Once you go green, they stay in your dreams.
I never heard that, but I'm gonna tell my mates.
Yeah, Tony. We're comparing lengths. The green skin always win.
Yeah, and also when you're gambling with a goblin, be prepared to lose. We do have good luck, Uh, but when you're gambling with an orc, be prepared to lose. Not because they're lucky, but because you don't want to win. Just a friendly tip from Tilda.
That's a good tip. That's a very good tip. Yeah, you don't want to. There's no good way to put it. You do not want to piss off an ogre.
That's true.
You really don't. You may not leave the tavern with as many appendages as you walk in with.
Here's a little bit of a tip from about an ogre. It's a common misconception that they are slow. That's not true. They're big, so their legs appear to move slowly, but their stride is massive. From across the field, looks like they're moving slow, but when they're coming at you, you better have your finest running shoes on because they're gonna get you. Yes, that's true.
So some of your larger um, beings like orcs or trolls, they're not as slow and sluggish as Hollywood makes them look.
Right, and that's how camera work. That's true. Like I said, from a distance, their legs be moving slower because I mean they've got more mass, and that's just the way it looks. But they cover more distance in each step. It's unreal. You for every one step you're running, your little legs going like this. They're going like this.
Wow. Wow.
And
So let's
honestly,
see.
uh, your your token, your JRR, he got so much wrong. I strongly believe he was a bit of a human elitist. So we got to talk a little bit about that. Very disappointing individual. For one, let me tell you about this a tidbit here. And again, trolls and ogres running slow. That's only one of them. Uh, us greenskins, we eat raw meat. But that's not true. Well, we do, but we don't. So the Mongolians with Genghis Khan, again, it was a half orc, and he employed everybody, and employed is a word. You know, uh, uh, the hamburger came from that. This is where that myth comes from. When the orcs and the goblins left from Mongolia and traveled up, once they got to Russia to carry the meat, it would be raw but over seasoned, and just to make sure it made the trip. Once it got to Russia, they turned it into a tartar. That was just their thing. And finally, that made its way over to Germany and became the hamburger. But the point of all this is, we ate how we had to, and ever since then, everybody's like, the great kids like raw meat. Just let me say, I like a good cooked meal as well as anybody. And that's not different. But when you're on the road, you got to do what you got to do. There's nothing else.
Very true. Very, very true. Hey, Fishing. Hey, Meg. Hello to everybody else that's popped in here recently. Um, so, how often, with though you work from your home, or you go into the Rusty Nail and do some of your IT work and stuff like that, how often do you get a chance to go on an adventure anymore? I mean,
Because
adventures don't always pay the bills, so I know you have to do your share of work to be able to live.
that's exactly right. And I've had that so many questions. Where do you sleep, Tilda? When is anything? And honestly, it's nice doing what I do. I choose a profession that I can do anywhere. So honestly, I get a phone call. Hey, Tuna, fix that and do this. But I can do it so long as I get internet, interwebs. Uh, for the record, that's gnomish engineering. They say down there that there is uh, humans from the naval military, and that's true. That's true. But most engineering of the interwebs is a gnomish invention. But in any case, that's what I do. I don't really need to go into my office every so often. It's a thing, but mostly I take my work with me, and when I find time to go digging, I do. But when I don't, I'm on the interwebs, and that's how I do things. It's all remote, as the word goes.
Very
So, like, if
good.
I were to
Very
come
good.
out and see you there, Truba, on the East Coast, I would definitely bring my day job with me. That's a sure thing.
Well, I'm actually not as far away as that. I'm only in the Midwest. I'm right up here amongst the lakes in Michigan. So not quite as far as the East Coast.
One day,
Um,
I've been out before to there's a to Gen Con, and I would like to maybe visit you out there someday. That's not quite that far, but that's Indianapolis, and I'm definitely going to come out there again. And German, you're going to be my second stop.
Yep, Indianapolis is only about 3 hours south of me.
That's beautiful. That right there
Yep.
is beautiful.
Yep, I actually lived in Indianapolis for a while. You want to talk about a variety of unique individuals, especially at night down by the canal. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ghostorama. Oh yeah, we right now the first Ghostorama of the year has already been planned, guys. It is going to be the first week of June at the City of David, the old cult facility, um, out in Eaton, yeah, over by the lake. If you guys remember, we done a paranormal investigation there last year. Place is very active. So you may want to go to ghostorama.com and find out all the information. Danny is also in the process of getting at least 3 or 4 more planned this year in different locations in the state. So not only is it going to be paranormal and otherworldly with its vendors and things like that, but we'll also be ending each one of the events with a paranormal investigation of the site that we're on. So ghostorama.com, you may want to check into that.
I do actually. A word of advice: you need to bring yourself with you a necromancer. They have a way of talking with them people, dead folk. I did run into one myself, actually right here at the Rooster Down. But I don't personally dabble in that kind of thing. But you may find it of use. The Egyptians dabbled in that as well. I suppose many cultures have. The first documented zombie was an Egyptian thing. So I don't know about those, like you said, but definitely look into that. Probably a bit of a tip from Tilda to you.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, yeah, Jan, I agree. Tildar would be great at a Ghostorama. Um, I think all of our channels blew up a little bit after the public came in and got to meet us, got business cards or stickers or whatever from us. I think all of us benefited somewhat from the Ghostorama. Um,
I have a
but
question about that. Does
yes,
does does garlic work on the undead or no?
that has been a common belief, and it's funny you ask that because it's been a common belief for over 500 years. See, a lot of people believe that the legend of of the vampire actually blew up with the release of Bram Stoker's novella Dracula, but there were stories of vampires 400 years all over Europe long before Bram Stoker was even born. And this next Tuesday, I'm actually releasing a video that talks about 5 vampire cases in history. So that's going
That's
to be.
interesting.
I've been working on it for quite a few days, but we had a chance to talk the other day. What recently happened in my family, so I've just kind of been spending less time in here and more time with the family.
Right, yeah,
Um,
family first. Family first, Druba. Always family first.
yep.
I have 712 cousins, all from the Thatcher, and always them first. So we all understand, and we wish you the best.
I appreciate that, my friend. I appreciate that. Quite honestly, and I'm sure it's the same with whatever culture we come from. That we each have our own way of mourning a lost family member. It's getting much easier here. The emptiness of the house is the roughest part now. The fact that she's gone, we've accepted, but her being gone, maybe not so much. So it's something that will take time, but we're working through it. Our friends and the family that's not blood have been coming in and spending time with us and bringing us food, and it's been a lovely experience. It's been a lovely experience. We stay home in
That's good to
Australia.
hear,
They
man.
don't do.
Mate, that's good to hear. If there's anything I can do, or I don't speak for everybody, but the community is here for you. Yeah, sometimes, we all accept our own losses, but the people around us either make that good or can work against us. So I'm glad you're in a good place there, Truba.
Yep, yep. Thank you, my friend. Let me see here. We got about 3 minutes left. Um, Let me see here. Um, now is Hobblesquatch a fan? I don't know how goblins um continue on their family lines. Do goblins have surnames like humans do? Was your father a Hobblesquatch, and your grandfather, or is that just when you're given a name at birth? Are you given a full name?
So that's a very good question, Drew. But Hobblesquatch, again, your Ernest Island is a great example of what I'm about to say. A lot of it was misinterpretation, mispronunciation, mistranslation. So Hobblesquatch is how we say it in the common tongue. Uh, the language is lost on me for many years now. It's not something I remember, but we when we were at the Thatcher, you were just called your surname was really just which area of the village you lived in, depending on that. So, like I said, everybody is kind of a cousin. It takes a village. That's a real saying. That's a golden saying. You don't know that, but that's true because the how do I say the aunties, they all took care of everybody. So it's really impossible to say you're from here and this one's from there. But really, we're just all cousins. So if we're from this area of the village or from this hut, we were designated. Instead of saying Tilda Hut A, we had originally had a word for it, but it somehow got turned into Hobblesquatch. Like me and many of them like in there, so that's how it's already designated. It's not something that's given to us by our father or our grandfather. It doesn't really work that way. And in today's world, without a last name, you can't leave the country. So
Yep.
that's just what it is. Like I said, it's kind of similar to your Ellis Island. Also, the Dutch, who were mostly half folks, the shorter people, they didn't even have a last name until the Christian come in and start giving out surnames. So it's similar to that. We didn't have them. We don't need them. Well, we do now, but we did it back then. So right now, if I were to have offspring of my own, then there would definitely be the Hobblesquatch. But it's nothing more than just the way it is these days.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me see here. Let me see here. Ah, let me see. Tildar seems like a sweet goblin. Terry said that. Um, yeah, Tony, I knew about Sekhmet. I believe, if I remember correctly, um, the story of Sekhmet, she was married to Osiris, and that was the first king and queen of the vampires. I believe, if I remember the story correctly, they were sent to a home that was supposed to be possessed by evil. And when they went in to clear out the evil, they themselves became possessed. And when they left the house, the priests stabbed them to death, but they rose back again. Something like that. Um,
Here's my theory on that, Druba. Vampires supposedly live forever. You know who else lives forever? Those damn elves. So I believe, similar to I believe it's the same virus as a zombie, except when this virus infects the elves, you got yourself a vampire. That is my theory there. Vlad himself, Vlad the Impaler, he definitely was an elf. You could look that one up. That's a real thing. And again, I believe he was infected with this virus. So you go all the way back. You got the Egyptians or the origins of the first or recordings of the zombie, and I believe that virus made its way across into across the lands, and then you got your zombies, and then they hit an elf, and then all of a sudden you got yourself a vampire. And most recordings of vampires, they got nice long pointy ears, and so I just speak for most of us here when I say it's just one more reason to be suspicious of them folk.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. But guys, Tildar has plans for here very shortly. So I want to go on and wrap this up. I'm going to let Tildar wrap this up with Tildar's amazing saying that he ends each and every one of his videos with. So, my friend, take it away.
Well, I appreciate that, Drew. And this goes out to everybody. Never take adventuring seriously, but seriously, always go on an adventure.
All right, my friend. You have fun with your plans tonight. Thank you for spending the last hour with us. I really appreciate it. And I look so forward to sitting down and talking with you again sometime.
Have a good one, Drew.
Take care, friend. All right, guys and gals. And there you go. Our very, very first non human guest we've ever had. And who knows, maybe our last. Well, I hear, and I don't know if this is true or not, but I hear that our own Harry McTavish is in discussion with Bill Brazelton right now about an upcoming live stream. I don't know. I mean, that's going to really add some truth to Ghost PM when you have a ghost interviewing a ghost. But I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know how it's going to work. So we'll just have to wait and see how that comes out. But again, a special thank you to Tildar Hobblesquatch and the hostess of the Rusty Nail for letting us sit down and chat for a bit. So how was everybody's Friday? How was everybody's Friday? It is almost officially over. We got about 3 hours and 55 minutes left, and it's the weekend. Thank you, Christine. I really appreciate that. I wanted to do something a little different. You know, why not kick back and have some fun on occasion? Life is too serious. Life is too serious. We might as well kick back and have a little fun and just enjoy life. All right, Tony, you take care of yourself, bud. Get some rest. I'm sure you got work to do this weekend somewhere. Time to feed the mutts and head to the rack. I'm going to be doing it real soon myself. I'll be doing it real soon myself. Tomorrow is my wife's last day off work. For her period of mourning. Sunday she goes back to work, and so it's going to be kind of weird. I've had her here with me for the whole week, so it's going to be weird being without her again. So, but you take care, Tony. Have a good evening, get some rest, and we will see you Monday. I will do that. I will do that, Squatch. I'll do that. All right. You take care of yourself. Thanks for coming in, bud. And I'll make sure he gets your email, and that way you and him can chat. I wasn't picking up his echo. I wasn't picking up his echo, so I'm sorry you guys did, but I didn't hear anything in the background. Of course, like I said this morning, I am looking into other guests. Some of them are more popular. I guess the right phrasing would be some of them have been in movies. I'm looking at one in particular. I'm trying really, really hard to get him. He is he's a Native American activist. He's a Native American movie star. He has been in Last the Mohicans. He has been in Dances with Wolves. He has been in Geronimo. I know you guys know who I'm talking about. So I'm trying really, really hard to get him, but getting in contact with him is hard. Let me see here. I would love to get a hold of Graham Greene. I would love to get Graham Greene on and talk to him. Of course, Floyd Redco Westerman is gone. Ted Thin Elk is gone. They have walked on from this world to the next. Those are the ones I would really have loved to sit down and talk to, the elders. The elders that are in their 70s, 80s, even 90s. But every day, and that's something this week has taught me, you just never know. You just never know when that doorway to the next world's going to open for you and it's time to walk through. So I believe the saying goes, you never know how long you have with someone, so while you have them, hold them as tightly as you can. So I do too. Meg. I really hope I can get him too. Let me see here. I know it was the StreamYard echo cancellation flipping out. Okay. Well, as long as you understand it, because I don't. I don't understand it. You guys know I'm a technotard. I don't understand anything technological. Not me. Christine, as I was saying during the interview, it's the fact that she's gone isn't really getting to us now. It's the fact of getting up in the morning and her not being asleep on the couch, and the things I've done for the last 7 years, getting her dressed, opening a new pack of cigarettes for her, making her breakfast. She loved waffles, especially blueberry waffles. it's those things that's really getting to us now. The fact that not the fact that she's gone, but the fact that she's not here. And last year when she would go up to my wife's cousin's place in Kalamazoo and she would stay for a few days or a week, we felt the same way. We felt the exact same way. It's like, when is she going to come home? And it's just this time she's not. But at the same time, now she's always here. So I've already had my first experience. I had my first experience after they came and picked her up on Wednesday. I seen her shadow move in the kitchen against the kitchen cabinets when I was sitting in the living room trying to relax and watch TV. Nobody was in the kitchen. My wife was asleep on the couch. My daughter was in her bedroom. Everybody else had left. And I seen a shadow move across the cabinet. And Ralphie seen it too. Ralphie was laying on the living room floor right in front of me, and he even looked at the kitchen doorway and stared at it. So we all know how sensitive animals are. So here in a few weeks or a month, um, I am actually going to do another all night um, live stream viewer back out in the kitchen. Of course, you guys remember last year when I did that. We picked Grandma up carrying her walker, not walking on it, carrying it out to her chair, sitting down, having a cigarette, talking to nobody. We heard some noises over by the door. We heard some noises in other places while she was in common view. So this time we're going to do it. And like I said, you might see a cat. You might see a couple cats. You might see cats going berserk in the middle of the night because that's what cats like to do. But other than that, we'll just have to keep our eyes and ears open and see what we can see. How about Amy Crypt, the team that made GhostTube SOS? They're out of Adelaide, Australia. That might be a great interview. I agree, Templar. That would be a great interview. That would be a really good interview. Let me write that down real quick here. Amy Crypt. Yep, I had it right. Adelaide. Australia. Awesome. I will check into them because I personally use GhostTube, so I'm definitely going to have to look into that. Yeah, they're about a 7-hour drive from me. I have a screenshot if you need it. Sure. Yeah, you can go on and send it to me, Jim. Very good thought, though. Very good thought, Templar. She would be very interesting to sit and talk to. So, like my mom finishing the laundry in the basement several days after she didn't finish before she passed. Wow. Very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, definitely the funny things we see. The funny things we see. I thought I heard her cough last night. We were laying in bed. It must have been 1, maybe, which was usually between 1 and 1:30 is when she would normally get up, and she'd go out to the kitchen, sit down, have a couple drinks of tea, smoke a cigarette, sit out there for an hour or so, then go back in and lay down. And I actually thought I heard her cough last night. It could have been my daughter in her room and it was just muffled by the door. I don't know. But She's definitely here. She's definitely here. Either my mom or my grandma starts throwing water in the bathtub upstairs. I have to go now. You all have a wonderful evening. Thanks, Drew, for this wonderful. There's always be blessed. Thank you, Meg. I appreciate that, sweetie. I appreciate that. You take care of yourself. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll catch you next week. Oh, goodness gracious sakes. Let's go through the rundown here real quick. Sunday, we've all seen the movie Braveheart. We all know Hollywood's tale, but we are going to take a look at the real life and the real execution of William Wallace. The video is called Freedom, the True Life and Death of William Wallace. Whether you knew this or not, William Wallace had the worst death and execution in European history. Nowhere else is it recorded that one single man went through everything he went through because they wanted to make sure that he was done. There was no more standing up against Britain and their rule over Scotland. And boy, they did their best to wipe out his memory, and all they did was made him a martyr. It was not very long after his execution that the Battle of Bannockburn took place, and it was an onslaught. The Scottish clans came together and they kicked the crap out of the British Army. So that's going to be a very, very interesting video. And then, like I said, on Tuesday, we have got 5 true historic documented cases of vampires in history. So that one there's going to be good too. Oh yeah, he definitely got a raw deal. He got a raw deal. He was the protector of Scotland. The Scottish royalty made him to protect Scotland. So he was living up to what he was supposed to be doing. He was protecting Scotland from outside invaders. And he did a very, very good job at it. At one point in time, he was actually held prisoner in France. And France was going to send him back to England, and England said, no, just keep him. We don't want him anywhere in the area. Down there, he can't do any harm. And he became very, very good friends with the King of France, and was even mentioned in a letter that the king wrote with much love and admiration. So he was definitely an enduring fellow for being, at that point in time, almost barbaric. We're talking the 13th century, or we're talking the 1300s, 14th century. But he was talked about in that letter with a lot of love and respect as a man, as a fighter, as a protector. So he actually had gone to France to try to drum up support for Scotland, but France at that point in time was relying on England for support in a war. And it was 100 years later, I believe, that Queen Mary was born, and shortly after that sent to France to stay and be groomed as a lady and to marry the Dauphin, so King Henry's son. So there was a lot of historical involvement between the fighting for Scotland's independence and the French royalty. Your coffee will be sent out tomorrow through FedEx. We'll let you know the tracking information. Thank you, Jan. I appreciate that. I haven't even turned it back on today. I'm still about 3/4 of a pot. So if I nurse it, I think I can make it to Monday. I really got a raw deal. Oh. So does anybody have any questions about anything coming up in the near future? You'll have to let me know if you like. I loved your idea of picking up a variety pack, Jan. I love that because it gives me a chance. They have several coffees, and many of them I heard were very good. And I've only, like I said, I've only had a chance to try the one you got me for Christmas, and then the one that my friend brought with us to do reenactments and stuff here a few years ago. And I don't even remember the name of that, but it was they were both very good coffees. So I have yet to be disappointed in any of the types of Black Rifle coffee. Not to mention, being a vet myself, it's nice to see that support going back to vets and everything. It's really cool. They do have the Beyond Black as well. Okay. But over the last couple weeks, since the new year started, I have talked about um, um, several things I have planned for this new year. Updating equipment, do better video quality, other reenactments, historic sites, things like that. Right now, everything except the videos are on hold. I am still looking into a little bit better video equipment. You guys know I've lost 2 microphones in the last month and a half. I need to be able to replace microphones. Of course, with Grandma passing away, that took a huge chunk out of our budget. We're doing everything we can to keep the house and everything, but that's where a lot of the donations are going to be going, not to travels and frivolous things like that, but to being able to keep the house, to pay the mortgage. The wife sat down today and transferred all the bills and stuff over to her bank account, and basically just merged Grandma's bank account with her bank account. And we come to find out that's $1,100 a month with the house and the gas, the electric, things like that. And you're adding that to the furnace payment, the car payment, car insurance. So that's where a lot of the donations are going to be going for the next couple months, is helping to keep us above water, and groceries, keeping us above water and alive and not starving. So that's going to be about the extent of it. So I want to thank everybody right away for all the support, all the love, everything that you guys have been outpouring to me and my family since I made the post on Wednesday that she had passed away. You guys are the best. I'm just going to say it like it is. You guys are the best. We can always count on y'all. And that's I say it many times. That's one of the things I admire about this group, is we may not share the same blood, but we are tighter than most families could ever dream of being. We're always there to share in each other's successes. We're always there to share in each other's failures, each other's fears, each other's joys, and that is beyond what I ever thought would happen when I started this channel, or when I started the original channel 4 years ago. Which, by the way, since the old channel doesn't exist anymore, but I am still going to have a 4-year anniversary on March 22nd. That was the date that I posted my very first video 4 years ago. I'm still going to have a 4-year celebration of being Uncle Daddy to an amazing family. So really looking forward to seeing the shows. Sweet Drew, I love historical things, and I love doing them. I love doing them. Sadly, I'm not appearing in, as you've seen this week, I've not appeared in many of the videos. I don't think I appear in the next 2, but I'm back after that with my funny clothes and my personality. Yeah, I know, not much to look forward to, is it? Oh, let me see here. So no questions, really. Oh yeah, and by the way, keep the ideas coming. You know, I don't always get a dedication thrown up. Which one is the funny part, huh? I don't always get a dedication thrown up when somebody suggests a video topic or something to me. Because, well, I'm an idiot. I get to rushing in and everything starts going well with editing, and I sometimes just forget. But from now on, I will be writing down people's names when they make video suggestions, so I can get their name at the beginning of it. You know, the idea, the concept for this video was submitted by blank. Start giving a little credit where credit is due. I keep saying this is our channel. It's not my channel. It's our channel. So by God, when I have a conception to an idea thrown at me, I'm going to start giving credit where credit is due. Plain and simple. Which one is the funny part, Templar asks. I believe probably my cheery personality. I haven't worn any funny clothes yet. I mean, really funny clothes. But I probably will sometime before the year's up, because, you know, much like I've told Jan in our off YouTube chats, I have been known to actually cause myself physical harm to make people laugh. I'm too old to do physical harm anymore, so I think I will. I think I'll just do whatever I have to do, just short of physical harm, to keep people laughing. Of course, as you guys can see, I changed the background just a tad for the interview tonight with Tildar. I've got my Bruce axe, which, by the way, those of you who didn't know this, Robert the Bruce, who, of course, was in Braveheart. He was also in a TV show called The Bruce. He never carried a sword. He never carried a sword. He carried what's called a Bruce axe or a bearded axe. That was his favorite weapon of choice. It was up close, personal, and you didn't got to worry about missing. And it did the job with armor or chainmail or whatever you were coming up against. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to head out, sit here, relax for a while before heading to bed. Peace, and try to have a good weekend. You do the same, Jay. You do the same. I know you're going to have to work tomorrow, but you'll have Sunday off to relax a little bit unless Jan finds another one of those damn honeydew list editions somewhere to lay on the pillow next to you Sunday morning. So when you wake up and roll over to see if your beautiful wife is laying there, you're going to find a beautiful note. Yeah. I wish I got a honeydew list. All I get is a honey, you damn well better do this today list. And it's scary. It's scary. She had to go back to the funeral home today to finish signing some paperwork and to look at the urns, which, by the way, I hadn't had a chance to say this to anybody except for Jan today. When we discussed the burial the other day with the family, it didn't sound like there was going to be any kind of a service or anything, which very much upset me because Grandma loved a good part. She loved people over. She loved people eating. She loved people drinking. She loved people laughing. I found out that the family actually bought several small urns, and each one of those small urns goes to an individual household. They will all have a little bit of the ashes in it. A large urn was bought for Grandma. The remainder of the ashes will be put in that. And there's a small vault that will be put in the ground next to Grandpa's grave. That is where her urn will set. And then we'll put the capstone on, and they will come in and cover it for us. We are going to have a family get together, a family and close friends get together the weekend following Grandma's birthday. Her birthday would have been the 29th of March. She would have been 84 years old. We are going to have her basically, I guess, awake, and her interment on April 1st. Her favorite day outside of Christmas. She loved to BS people on April Fool's Day. And since her birthday falls in the middle of the week, we decided we are going to do her little wake, family get together, family and friends dinner, and remembrance thing, and put her in the ground on April 1st. So I will still be trying to get a plaque made. I promised her a long time ago that regardless of how she went in the ground, that she could finally tell everybody who didn't like her, who thought she was mean, who talked down to her because she was just an old pole that didn't know anything, to stop by and kiss her cold dead ass. So I'm going to try to find somebody who will make a little plaque for me that says, "Hey, while you're here, kiss my cold dead ash." I promised her a long time ago we were going to plant her right on top of Grandpa with her old wrinkly butt sticking up out of the ground so everybody could come by and kiss her butt. So I'm going to try to find somebody who can make me a little tiny plaque that just tells everybody, "Hey, while you're here, please feel free to kiss my cold dead ash." So I know she'll get a big chuckle out of that. She laughed every time I said it to her. So, and as I've said many times, I lost my grandma 9 years ago. I lost my other grandma 12 years ago. This was the only grandma I had left too. So I'm going to try to make her afterlife as much fun as I made her life. Um, but enough with that. Thank you, Christine. Telling you to repaint the walls outside the house. Repaint the walls outside the house. It's sided. Um, Again, this was the place that her and Grandpa picked a year before he died. And he had a lot of plans. He had a lot of plans for this place, and sadly enough, didn't survive to get any of them done. They owned this land. The house used to set just out our kitchen window. The old blue house sat there until it was deemed unlivable. The house was like 120 years old. Um, it was so old, it was wood sided, and it was painted a dark blue, or I should say a bright blue, like the color of the pin area up at the very top of the chat where Tildar's YouTube channel link is at. But they wound up having to tear that down. They picked this place out. Grandpa wanted to. There's a hill out front. He wanted to eliminate that hill and put up a retaining wall the full length of the front of the property and fill it in with filled dirt and plant hedges and stuff in there. He wanted to get these old trees cut down in the backyard. He wanted to fence off the southern part of the driveway so people would quit coming through here at 2 o'clock in the morning thinking our driveway is an alley. He talked about putting up a garage, so we are definitely looking at one of those steel frame canvas carport type deals, where the cars can be parked out of the weather. Of course, 16 years of him not being here, the sheds are bad now, so both old sheds will be torn down. That's where the garage or the carport's going to go. I've got privacy fencing material. I just don't have access to the 4x4 posts or the concrete because things have been so tight. But the whole southern length of the property from the neighbor's privacy fence clear out to the front will all be privacy fenced in, so there will be no more coming in or out of the alley. You'll be able to park in the parking area, turn around and drive right out past the front of the house. Just a lot of things we're going to do over time. We are going to paint in here, change the carpet. As Grandma got older, she was not the cleanest or best housekeeper. So a lot of things are going to get replaced and updated. And we're going to see if we can put another 20, 25, or 30 years into this little house. Hey, KG, good to see you, dear. Hope you're doing good. Good. Glad to see it. Glad to see it. Let me see here. Ferris, what up? Hope you guys are doing good up there, my friend. Oh, forgot to tell you guys. You remember the hat falling off the wall this morning during the live stream? I checked it. There was no reason whatsoever for the string that I had in that hat to jump off the screw. For those of you that wasn't here, I have a very proper early American tricorn. And last year, when Fishing and his wife were down in Florida, they ran across a store that sold duplicate historic documents. And he picked me up Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights and the Emancipation and all kinds of different things like that. And I put them on the wall right over here. And between those and my backdrop, I hung my tricorn. Right in the middle of the live stream this morning, tricorn comes flying off the wall, hits the floor, clear over here at the end of the desk. So, you know, when the live stream was over, I went over there and I looked at it, looked at the screw. Screw was still there. String was still secured. Can't figure out how the string jumped over the head of the screw and fell off and made the hat fall off the wall. I said, okay, I'm going to experiment. So I hung it right back up on the wall. I sat here, well, in and out because I was doing things with the, you know, in here in the house today to ease things up on staff, doing the dishes, run the vacuum, taking care of the kitties, you know. And it was there. It was there. It stayed there. It stayed there. It stayed there. I came back in here this evening to start getting things set up for tonight's live stream. And I'll be damned if I wasn't in here for less than 10 minutes. That tricorn come flying off the wall again and landed in the same spot over here at the end of my desk. Now you're talking 4 feet. So somebody don't like that tricorn there. Yeah, Grandma probably, yeah, she's probably letting me know she was watching. She loved to do it. She loved to do it. I know a lot of times during the live streams and stuff, she was either sleeping or she was out in the kitchen while I was in here. But a lot of times when I was working on a video or something like that, this is actually a gate door that I made so I could open my door and the cats couldn't come in and I could still hear if she needed my help. Well, it got to that point where she started coming in here with me while I was working on videos, and she would sit right over here. I have a large early 20th century trunk sitting over here. And she would sit her chair right about where that trunk is located at. And she would listen to me work on videos, which just happens to be right by where that tricorn's at. And I'm thinking Jan is right. I'm thinking it's her flipping that thing off the wall, just letting me know that she's in here watching me. Next time her aim will be better. You know, she was never the kind to ever want to hurt anybody, regardless of whether they done something wrong or not. She was the kind of grandma. Now, my grandma was mean. My grandma would, when I done something wrong, she would make me go out to the weeping willow tree in the backyard with a pair of big shears. And she would make me find the willow gad that I thought for a second would probably lay you open like a razor strap. She wanted that thing to whistle. And there was a lot of times I had to go out there and cut 3 or 4 willow gads off that weeping willow tree. And then I had to sit there and I had to pull all the little leaves off of it. And I had to yell at her. And she'd come out in the backyard and she'd swing it. And if it didn't hit that tone that she wanted, she made me go back and do another one. And then she would chase me all around the yard because I was pretty fast when I was little. I was a runner. I could usually stay, especially if I moved my hips forward while I was running. You know that cartoon look when you're kind of running at this angle, but your feet are here and your head's sticking up here and your body's just all distorted. She would chase me around the yard. I remember one time she made a homemade apple pie. The thing Grandma made that I loved more than anything else in the world. That sucker came out of the oven. She went to the bathroom and the spoon went right in the middle of her pie. No baloney. I took a tablespoon and put that thing right in the middle of the pie. I took a big bite of that pie. She come walking out of the bathroom. First words out of my mouth, "I love you, apple pie, Nanny." She got madder than a wet cat. She got ready to spank me. I ran out the back door. She chased me through the yard, grabbed a willow gad like a ninja off the tree, took off chasing me down the alley, clear around the block, and all I'm hearing as she's swinging that willow gad at me. Do that today, CPS will be knocking on your door. But still, you know, that woman chased me, and all I kept saying is, "But I love you, apple pie. I love you, apple pie. I love you, apple pie." And she was laughing. She was laughing so hard, tears were coming down her face. She couldn't have hit me if I stood still. Steph's grandma, nope, nope. The kids quit getting corrected when Grandpa died. Grandma was never one to raise a hand at anybody. Yeah, she was, KG. She was. She was the sweetest woman anybody could ever want to meet. And I was really glad that the local paper was doing an obituary on her because over the years, between her 3 kids and her 2 grandkids, Steph and her cousin Teresa, and then later Teresa's brother Brandon, and then the great grandkids like Ashlyn and Ashlyn's brother Trevor and stuff like that. Grandma was grandma to probably 50 kids in this town growing up. They would all come over here. They would all eat her cooking. They would all spend the night. They would all play in the yard. And she would sit on the back porch and just laugh at them. You know, my daughter's best friend came over yesterday. And she spent time with her because Grandma used to wake up in the middle of the night when Ash's friend had come over, and she never met a stranger. That's absolutely it. You're right. But Ash's friend came over, and she was sitting here, and she started to cry a little bit. She's like, "I remember her waking up in the middle of the night when I'd come out of Ash's room, trying to be quiet so I didn't wake anybody up." She said her head would pop up, and she said, "Got the munchies, huh?" And Willer would just laugh. She goes, "Yeah, a little bit." He says, "Don't make a mess." And she'd lay her head back down, go back to sleep. But yeah, you JJ and KG, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. She never met a stranger. She may not like you, but you would never know that she didn't like you. But we have got about 9 minutes left. Again, don't forget, um, we are looking for folks. She made me feel so bad when we had to leave. How did she make you feel bad? Made me feel bad when we had to leave. She said it was so nice to meet us and have us there. Oh, that's sweet. That's just how she was. I and Steph have our friend Alan over in Corby, England. He comes here once a year. Of course, with the big C going on the last couple of years, he wasn't able to come. He's coming back in April this year. And he was very much looking forward to seeing Grandma. She was looking forward to seeing him. He spends about 2 weeks, week and a half, 2 weeks when he's here. When he actually gets a break from the Royal Mail. And they were looking forward to seeing each other. And I'm sorry that he missed her. Tyler, when he came here 2 years ago, and then him and Brenna came here before Christmas this year. Grandma always loved her some Tyler. Always loved her some Tyler. He would sit out at the table with her. Me and him would sit out there in the morning, and we would all three just laugh. She'd drink her tea, we'd drink our coffee, and we'd just sit out there and chat and laugh. Jan and Jay, the exact same way. Big Fish, when he was here last year, Grandma got to meet him. And Tommy Tombstone, and Randy from Randy's Real Paranormals, and Lisa, and Heather, the Hauntus. She's loved each and every one of them, and treated them all like her grandkids. So, KG and Wookie, exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. Treat them like family. My life is so much better having met her. She was a gift. She was a gift, that's for sure. And yes, Christine, she had a very beautiful soul. I mean, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. She had a temper. But I mean, show me an 83-year-old that don't get angry once in a while. So, but she was a kind soul. She was a kind soul. Oh, let's see here. 5.5 minutes to go. Throw this up one last time. Again, I cannot express enough the thanks that everybody for the love and the support and all the kind words that folks had to share over these last 3 or 4 days. 3 days since she's gone, 4 days since I started doing the updates on the community tab. Your kindness, your wonderful words, your strength was all a godsend. Was all a godsend, and I can't express the appreciation that I have for each and every one of you for the support that you threw our way. What was I talking about before I went off on my tangent? train of thought derails, 10,000 brain cells die, film at 11. Um, we are still looking for guests for um, the Friday night streams. It doesn't matter if you're into the paranormal. It doesn't matter if you're into history. It doesn't matter if you're into rare coins, treasure hunting, abandoned locations. I want to start using the Friday night interviews to highlight amazing people. The amazing people right here on the platform. Until I get rich enough that I could afford my own Roku channel and have my paranormal ran my YouTube paranormal ran channel that only features YouTube teams, no big stars, no musicians, just YouTube teams. Until I can have that, this is my platform to share those amazing people out. So that's the plan for 2023. Share out as many cool people as we can find. And that was the reason I wanted to get Tildar in here, because, when he started the channel, and we didn't discuss this, I wanted him to stay in character tonight because, the man behind the mask, I've only chatted with on the phone for a little bit. The mask, the green skin, is the one that I sit and watch all the time when a new video comes out on his channel. When he started, me and Wookie planning to go to Ghostorama this year. Cool. It'll be interesting. All of them will be. All of them are going to be at great locations. We know for sure the City of David in the first weekend of June. And we know about the big one, which is going to be at the Van Buren County Museum that we investigated last year before the storm took the roof off of it. That place is active, and there is a lot to see there. Let me see here. Of course, like I said, for the next month or so, the donations that come in will be coming in to support, help us. Losing Grandma, we lost a huge chunk of our budget, and we are doing everything in our power to keep everything rolling just like it normally was. So, as a matter of fact, we lost about half our budget. So, now that I think about it, lost a big chunk of about over $1,000. So for the next month or so, that the donations are going to be in to keep us afloat, keep the house afloat until we can figure things out and cut back on some of these bills. I'm getting ready to do a name shout here, not for good reasons. Xfinity Internet, who has gone above and beyond the Call of Duty to butt screw my grandma. We canceled her cable through Xfinity, which was part of her package. We canceled it 4 years ago. I found out today they've been charging her for it for 4 years, even though she's not been using it. We've been using nothing but the internet. And I called them today to figure out why we're paying $165 a month for internet when they're advertising $40 a month on their website. And I found out that they've been charging her for her cable, even though they came and got the cable boxes 4 years ago. Of course, they're not going to reimburse any of that money. They might have a corporate higher up that has to skip a vacation or something if they do that. So, you know, but yeah, been interesting couple days. But all right, guys and gals, it is that time. It is time for me to be like a fat baby and head out. Time for me to be like a tree and leave. Time for me to be like a bunch of birds and get the flock out of here. We are beyond the 2-hour mark, and I'm going to go spend some time with my lovely wife and daughter because, well, like I said earlier, you never know how much time you got. So while you have the time, hold the ones closest to you as close to you as you possibly can. So you guys all take care of yourselves. Be looking for that video Sunday morning. And of course, we will be back Monday morning, as long as Ralph lets me sleep. We will be back Monday morning for morning coffee and chat. But until then, you know, Jan, Big Fish, my friend, I miss you so much. KG, Templar, God, who else is here? Who else is here? It says we got 11 watching right now. I'm just going to guess. Templar, KG, Fishing, Jan. Let's see. Christine. There's Templar again. There's Sparris the Fam. There's Templar again. There's Christine again. There's Jan again. Jay's gone. I know that for a fact. He's laying there listening to us right now. Listening to me ramble on. Meg. Nope, Meg's gone. Okay, and whoever else is lurking there in the background, not saying anything. You guys all have a great weekend. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. I do. We'll catch you guys on Monday. Of course, I'll be here if anybody wants to get a hold of me over the weekend. And may not be able to answer you right away, but I'll get back to you as quick as I can. So y'all take care. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you first of the week.